As part of the SBU Special Operation Web, Ukrainian drones struck 41 aircraft from the Russian Federation's aviation fleet. This amounts to about 34% of the strategic cruise missile carriers at Russian air bases. As noted by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the special operation carried out will push Moscow toward peace negotiations.
Our Operation Web has proven that Russia must feel the impact of its losses. This is what will push it toward diplomacy. When Russia suffers losses in this war, it becomes clear to everyone that Ukraine is defending not only itself but all of Europe.
According to the Security Service of Ukraine, the estimated value of the destroyed aircraft is about $7 billion. In total, according to the head of the Ukrainian state, 117 drones were used. The American publication Clash Report notes, Operation Web is unparalleled in terms of cost effectiveness.
From an economic efficiency standpoint, Ukraine's sabotage operation on June 1, 2025 has no equal. A single FPV drone used by Ukraine can cost as little as $300 to $600. For comparison, a modernized Russian strategic bomber Tu-95MS is valued at $100 million. That is a cost gap of more than 100,000 times. From a post by Clash Report on social network X.
According to the SBU, Operation Web was in preparation for a year and a half. In the first stage, FPV drones were secretly smuggled into Russia, followed by mobile wooden cabins. Once inside Russian territory, the drones were placed inside these structures on trucks. At the right moment, the roofs of the cabins were remotely opened, and the drones rushed toward their targets, the Russian strategic bombers. As a result of the attack, targets at 4 military airfields were hit simultaneously: Belaya, Diaghilevo, Olenia, and Ivanovo.
This was not just a devastating blow to enemy aviation, it was a serious slap in the face to the power and terrorist nature of the Russian Federation. According to the laws and customs of war, we struck absolutely legitimate targets, military airfields and aircraft that are bombing our peaceful cities. That is why, on our part, real demilitarization of the Russian Federation is taking place, because we are destroying strictly military targets. Vasyl Malyuk, head of the Security Service of Ukraine, from a statement on the SBU website.
The Russian Federation has been made clearly aware the entire territory of the Russian Federation is under the control of Ukraine's defense forces and Ukrainian intelligence. Note that, in addition to strikes on 4 airfields of the Russian Federation, by the way, the distance from the line of contact there is more than 2,000 kilometers, strikes were also carried out on the logistical components of the Russian army. The whole world has seen that the Russian special services are incapable of providing an adequate level of counterintelligence and counter-sabotage operations on their own territory.
The official Kremlin remains silent and pretends that no Ukrainian operation took place on Russian territory. At the same time, the Russian authorities claim that their air defense allegedly managed to repel attacks by Ukrainian UAVs on military airfields in the Ivanovo, Ryazan, and Amur regions. In turn, the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad commented on the operation as follows.
The Ukrainian operation against Russia is a worrying sign of the era of drone warfare. Someone said that Ukraine has no cards to play. He, Volodymyr Zelensky, has proven that this is not the case, from a Mossad commentary post on social network X.
According to the Wall Street Journal, before the start of Operation Web, Russia had 54 Tu-22M3 bombers and 58 Tu-95M bombers in service. The exact number of operational aircraft is unknown. However, now the number capable of striking Ukraine has been significantly reduced. What is especially critical for Russia is that production of these models was discontinued long ago. It is impossible to replace the lost aircraft.
Now they will try to substitute the air component with ground-based systems, for example, the Iskander. They can also use MiG-31 aircraft, which are capable of carrying Kinzhal missiles and have not yet been attacked. They can use them. They will use ballistic Iskanders, and there is also a version of the Iskander with cruise missiles. They can launch both ballistic and cruise Iskander missiles from the same platform. They also still have remnants of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, the Black Sea Fleet that has not yet been sunk.
Operation Web will not go unnoticed by the Russian army. As noted in the report by the American Institute for the Study of War, targeted strikes by Ukrainian drones on Russia's strategic aviation will significantly reduce Moscow's ability to carry out massive attacks on Ukraine using long-range missiles and drones. Nikita Skoblikov for Freedom TV channel.
Since the beginning of the day, 67 battles have already taken place on the front line. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, most of the Russian assaults are happening in the Pokrovsk direction.
Along the entire Pokrovsk direction, the Russians are actively trying to advance. Their current tactic is to use mobile infantry or motorcycle groups that try to break through into the area in front of our positions in order to establish a foothold and bring in reinforcements. Viktor Trehubov, spokesperson for the Operational Strategic Group of Forces Kortitsia, in an interview with Suspilna.
In the Lyman sector, Ukrainian forces successfully repelled Russian assaults near Kharkivka in Luhansk region, as well as Karpivka, Zelena Dolina, Rydkodub, and Torske in Donetsk region. The enemy also attempted to advance in the area of Novyi Mir, Stepova, Novoselivka, Pishchane, and Vovchansk in Kharkiv region. In the Pokrovsk sector, Ukrainian defenders destroyed another Gvozdika self-propelled artillery system belonging to the occupiers, along with its ammunition. In the Siversk direction, fighters from the Rubezh Brigade burned another Russian armored personnel carrier, while soldiers of the 148th Brigade destroyed 3 howitzers belonging to the occupiers. The 53rd Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine showed the destruction of a Russian Merlin reconnaissance drone in the Lyman sector.
The Russian drone was attempting to observe our positions. This drone is one of the most expensive reconnaissance drones used by the Russians. Its cost can reach up to $300,000. This is according to a statement from the communications unit of the Signum Battalion of the 53rd Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Telegram.
Border guards have published a video of the Guard Brigade's training in the Vovchansk sector. According to the soldiers, these exercises are just like being on the front line: assault, clearing, and evacuation of the wounded. And the defenders from the 1st Territorial Defense Brigade showed how they conduct live fire exercises at the training ground for all units.
Because both drone operators and mortar crews can also encounter a Russian sabotage and reconnaissance group. And they also need to be able to react quickly to such contact.
The total losses of the aggressor country's army since the beginning of the full-scale invasion have already exceeded 989,000 personnel. In the past day alone, 1,140 Russian soldiers were eliminated, along with 7 armored vehicles, 48 artillery systems, and dozens of other pieces of Russian equipment.
Russia has again struck civilians in Sumy. 3 people were killed and 16 were injured. For another act of terror, the Kremlin occupiers used rocket artillery. 1 shell hit the road in the city center, damaging cars and a hospital building. The second one pierced the wall of a room in a 9-story apartment. This shell did not explode. Volodymyr Zelensky has already responded to this attack, stating that this is how Russia shows its desire for peace, by striking civilians. Without pressure from the world, without decisive steps from the United States, Europe, and all those who have power in the world, Putin will not agree even to a ceasefire. Russia has not stopped striking the cities and villages of Ukraine for a single day. Every day we lose our people because of Russian terror. Every day Russia gives reasons to strengthen sanctions against it and increase support for our defense, Zelensky wrote.